to what is now actually the third recording of this video. Essentially, it's going to be what is in store for the channel in 2024. Where have I been in December? Like, where did I drop off the face of the earth to? Why has there been no videos in December? And just a bit of general updates about the channel. But first, a massive Happy New Year to everyone that has supported me, that are watching this video, and everyone that's a Patreon over the last year and a half. Thank you so much for making it possible. It's something that makes me really happy to do. So the support means so much to me. It is untrue. Now, why is it the third time doing this video? Now, I like the second time was because I'd worn this hat, which has got obviously a green logo in front of what is a green screen. So that was a great move. And the third time is because the second video was just inane babble, like these, just having to go back and re-record bits because I just want to speak to everyone, and I've not written everything. I didn't think about what I was going to say except the points that I needed to say. So it just came out like absolute crazy babble. First is where have I been in December? Now, December I went and got married in Taiwan. Me and Emma got hitched. We didn't elope. It was just a planned wedding that we went over to Taiwan for because Emma's family is still in Taiwan, or they're staying in Taiwan. And yeah, because she lives over here, we went over there. So her parents, because we see my parents all the time. Now, I thought I was gonna have some time to get videos edited and things, so I didn't put out a video before saying that I wasn't gonna do videos in December because, well, I was planning on doing at least a video a week all through December. Now, I bought a second hard drive, or another hard drive, a bit ago, put all my stuff on it, and took the wrong hard drive essentially, so I didn't have anything set up to just nicely edit a video. So that was the first spanner thrown in to the works of that one. Got about 3 hours in the first week, the week before the wedding, to be able to edit. So I set stuff up, and then it was a month off. Then for the next 3 weeks, I got absolutely zero time in between meeting family over there, spending time with people from over here that had gone over. So we went about Taiwan for a bit then. And it just, in at least the 2 weeks that they were there, it would have been incredibly rude to just oh yeah, I'm gonna edit, thanks for coming over for the wedding, but see you in a bit. So my plan to get stuff edited before that bit of time didn't go to plan, and then I just didn't manage to squeeze any. I really thought I'd get some stuff edited, and just none of it happened. So I'm sorry I didn't say anything about it to anyone. It was my plan to get stuff done, and then by the time I realised, oh, it's been 2 weeks, I've not got anything edited. It sort of was oh, it's been too long. It's been too long, and I can't even. All I could do was do a sort of a selfie thing on my phone that I just couldn't. I almost couldn't bring myself to do. So please forgive me for the lack of contact in December, and we'll be going back to scheduled programming of 2 videos a week from from now on. Now that brings me into the second thing, which is, well, it was harder to talk about it in the first and the second bit, but it's a bit of a weird one. Now this is a weird one. So what some of you might not know is my dad is he's quite ill, not in he got quite bad in September, which was why there was a week or 2 weeks missed in September or something like that. But he's just ongoing got lung and heart failure. It's not an immediate thing, he's just gonna pop it, but what I've decided to do is go down to part-time hours at my actual job of landscape architecture, for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to go and work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That I'm in a lucky enough position that financially that'll be okay for me. Like times will get pretty lean, but it's something I used to work with my dad as a builder before I did landscape architecture, and going down to part-time hours will let me and I was his carer for a bit as well, like in a I cared about my dad as well as like it just carried his oxygen bottle about basically. What going down to part-time hours will do is allow me to basically just spend more time with him, like as he gets older. That'll be nice to spend time with my dad again. I mean, it was the worst thing in the world to work with my dad, but also it was great to work with my dad. So I'd spend a bit more time with him, and hopefully just keep him active. Because what we want to do basically is slow a decline in health. But so what does that mean for the channel, Centric? Why am I telling you this? What that means is that I'll be very flexible on the days that I'm off, and it will give me a bit more freedom to do like work, like channel work, as in editing, actually thinking about what I want to make on the channel, what sort of content I want to make, the quality of content that I want to make. So it will just give me that bit of headspace to be able to do stuff like that. So in the coming, well, starting actually this week, I will be basically being able to dedicate more time to the channel as a like sort of a silver lining byproduct of doing this part-time work to help care for my dad. And no one needs to worry about that. It's not like a super upset thing. He's not like he's as fine as he can be. He's not in a worrying state. It's just it's something that I'm choosing to do. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. Like sort of on the back end of the channel, that other than this video, no one will really see, I don't think. So what is in store for the channel game wise in 2024? Because that's what we're all here about, right? We've got a few things really. Like I imagine everyone is sick of watching Iron Warriors, and although Iron Warriors are like my true love of an army, and they're the legion that I love playing in Heresy, it's I imagine everyone is sick of it. So I've been thinking for a while. I've actually tried to start a different army a few times, but yeah, I really thought 2024 would be a good just set point to get something different to add into the mix that wasn't just a greater expansion of what is all in my head, one Iron Warriors army. Like even my militia, my solar, my mech, all of it ties into my Iron Warriors in how I think about their Crusade fleet organization. So I'm going to go with a new army, and I basically, me and Miles from Little Legend, I'm recording this on the 1st, are on Friday the 5th. Friday the 5th? I'm going to get that date wrong immediately. Yeah, Friday the 5th, I'm going down to Swansea, and we're going to be painting 7,000 points of Ultramarines in 2 days. That's the Saturday and Sunday. So wish me luck and wish Miles luck for that. Hopefully we can get a good amount done. And basically we're just going to be trying to see what we can do. I've seen lots of these like sort of 48-hour paint videos, and we thought I didn't want to do too much of a stressy thing, but how much can you get done in a weekend? So I'll be documenting that in some way, shape, or form, and then that will give a decent amount of points to get some variation in a loyalist army across the channel. Now, other than Filament's Horus, why did I pick Ultramarines? Because I mean, I didn't bin them as soon as that FAQ came out at the start of December. I picked Ultramarines because me and Phil, an event called Melos, and the big bads for Melos have always been the Ultramarines. They've been the retribution fleet that has come to punish the pocket domain of Melos. Now, that then sort of like set the theme and the tone for the army. So I'm going to hopefully trying to convince Miles to do a weathered, beaten down Ultramarines army, and that will just provide some like variation for the channel. Um, that might spiral from there. Like I might start doing other armies based around those Ultramarines. I've always been thinking like, well, the like Blood Angels Allied Detachment could come into it. Dark Angels maybe. Um, I've already actually got the Blood Angels. Hey, Dave. Thank you for lending me your Blood Angels. Like they can tie into it really nicely because of the Ultramar, the Imperium Secundus in Ultramar. Um, so it would just give some nice narratives to play off, as well as potentially being able to do like a watch pack for Space Wolves, things like that that I can bolt on and have just more variety for everyone to watch. That also ties into the Melos prequel campaign that me and Phil have started doing towards the end of last year, that we do in the Eclipsis Alpha campaign. Now, that's for Heresy, like 28 mil. Across December, obviously, Legions Imperialis have come out. I actually played my first game a few days ago, like with a half painted army, because I actually had an epic army. Iron Warriors, obviously, or the epic 30k from a few years ago, printed and painted. Now that's not big enough for a full Legion Imperialis army, so that's why I didn't immediately get something on channel when I came back from Taiwan. But I'm going to be painting that maybe getting a bit done this Friday, um, and then getting some Legion Imperialis on the table, because I actually really enjoyed that first game. Now, the point scale, I think, let me know in the comments if you got a specific point scale you want to see. And it's worth noting that actually, like 2K, the deployment zones were pretty full. Like it sort of felt a little bit like if you had anything but Titans to make 3K, because even a Baneblade is 100 points, so it would be 10 extra Baneblades to go from 2K to 3K, and it felt sort of like 75% full in my deployment zone. So it would be interesting to know what everyone's favoured point scale would be for Legions. I know a few events have come out and said 3K, but whether that's just following along from Games Workshop, like we're in early doors with this. So I'll try out a few point scales, and hopefully everyone enjoys watching Legions Imperialis. Like I'll have my Iron Warriors. I'm currently doing a Solar army that I can let everyone in on, and hopefully you'll understand. I'll be able to understand why it's let everyone in on in a few weeks for a Solar army. And then I was thinking about just doing some Ultramarines to fit in with what I'll be doing in the 28 mil scale, just to get a few different armies. Phil's doing a Sons of Horus army to tie in with his sons, and it'll just be a nice little additional game that has the mini dudes as well as the Titans. Now, Titanicus, I played a few games towards the end of last year. If people are still interested in that, we'll be playing Titanicus. Just let me know, and we can start getting those games filmed to be able to get them on channel again. Battlefleet Gothic is whenever I can get Henry pinned down for a game, because he's a busy man. And whenever I can get him pinned down, we will be doing more of the Battlefleet Gothic campaign. Now, finally, though not finally, because there's a few more like BattleTech, Bushido. I know Seb the Dane has started playing Bushido, so I might get him to teach me that. Like I played some Alpha Strike with him when I went over to Copenhagen. I'm the main driver at the start of this year, I think, other than like Heresy sort of stuff, will be the old world. And looking at what has been released, like information wise, for the old world, there's nothing too specific, but I am really excited about how it's sounding. Bretonian Lances back, right? The triangles. I mean, we'll see how that works actually on release of the game and on the table. Like, I mean, there was a reason that they changed it to the square, because it was a triangle in a game of squares. But we'll have to see how that plays out when everything hits the thousands of people and all of us like testing it en masse, and whether triangles do actually work in a squares game. But I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be doing a Bretonian army, starting at 1250, just like straight from the box, 1250, and just showing progress of how I go through that. I'm going to be doing a Mausolon army because I've already got some Mausolon counts that they're not 100% painted, my Mausolon counts, but it just seems like a nice fit to be able to bolt on, because I know there'll be lots of other people playing Bretonians. They're a pretty like cool army, and being one of the starter boxes, I imagine lots of people will be playing them and snapping them up now that the men at arms and Knights of the Realm kits are back. So watch this space basically for how we're going to be doing that slow grow. It might just be that once a month I post a video of how I've got on with it, like sort of Tale of One Gamers style, or I might rope in some extra people to just show what they've gone on under the same constraints of like X amount of points a month. But the old world is going to be absolutely massive, or at least for me. We'll see how lasting success it has, but I am really excited for it coming out, and I will be on the old world from day one. There'll be no let up of other content, but the old world will definitely be a priority for the channel. So yeah, those are the main thoughts about what I'll be doing with the channel in the coming months. Hopefully everyone enjoys what's in store for it. I'll have a bit more time to increase quality of content, as I said. Actually, like, provide more narrative to bat reps, approach like the guide videos in a different way. Now I can start thinking about them a bit more rather than just straight sort of whack levels, if you know what I mean. Like, what are the options to units is what I want to sort of talk about and provide information on, rather than just like, is this a tournament style take or not take? Like, what are the cool things you can do with lists? So yeah, if you made it this far, thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Again, thank you so much to the Patreons and everyone for your support across the last year and a half. Honestly, it means loads to me. It makes me really happy to do this sort of stuff, like this content and channel. And anyone that wants a game, just give me a shout, and I will see everyone across the year in a bit.